Time now for our Honda starting goaltenders. For the Flyers, it will be the ex-cap, Michael Neuvirth. He makes his first career start against his former club. His longtime teammate for 5 seasons, both in the American Hockey League and here in Washington, the All-Star Braden Holtby, first goalie since Chris Osgood 20 years ago to win 30 in his first 38 games. Alex Ovechkin will start the game with his line mates Nicklas Backstrom and TJ Oshie. Up against the Flyers top line, Claude Giroux, Wayne Simmons, and Jake Voracek. John Carlson returns for the Caps. Sam Gagner back in the Flyers lineup for Jordan Weal. And Jason LaBarbera is the backup goaltender for Philadelphia. Steve Mason out with a lingering injury. He hopes to return following the All-Star break. For the Capitals, their first game in 8 days. 2 postponed games. Flyers had a game postponed in Brooklyn over the weekend. Capitals 12 straight wins here at home. Best overall record in the National Hockey League. Matt Niskanen moves the puck ahead, looking for TJ Oshie. And now Oshie will carry out. Ovechkin moves the puck across. And now it's Gus Despair back the other way for Philadelphia, paired tonight with Michael Del Zotto. Matt Reed with a centering pass. And now the Flyers regroup. Philadelphia 3 straight losses, all by 1 goal to Toronto, Pittsburgh, and Boston.
And you're talking about the Capitals being off for 8 days. You can practice all you want, but it'll take a little bit of time to get back into that game rhythm. So straight ahead hockey for the Capitals.
Capitals held a morning skate Friday. Their game against Anaheim, scheduled for Friday night, was postponed. They did not skate at all Saturday or Sunday. Returned to the practice rink on Monday. Justin Williams, the ex-Flyer, sends it on goal. It's covered by Neuvirth, and then some extracurricular activity involving Burakovsky initially and Streit, and now Justin Williams.
Well, an easy play there from Michael Neuvirth, and arms up by Brandon Manning on Burakovsky, and then the boys get together. So for the Washington Capitals, probably good to see somebody else over the course of the last handful of days off since that blizzard come through our nation's capital.
You spent a couple of days here, Eddie, over the weekend. Scheduled to work the Capitals-Penguins game on Sunday.
Yes. Should have brought a shovel.
How'd you kill the time?
A lot of reading, a lot of watching hockey.
R.J. Umberger moves to the net. Tom Wilson with a hit in the near corner. And the Capitals clear the zone.
That was a big hit on Scott Lawton to the left of Braden Holtby. Wilson's not afraid to do that. One of the more physical players, not only in the Capitals lineup, but in the entire National Hockey League.
Capitals won the only prior meeting, 5-2 in Philadelphia in early November. Puck backhanded into the Capital zone by Ryan White. 4th line on the ice for the Flyers. For the Caps as well. Mike Richards playing in his 4th game with Washington, the former Flyers captain, number 10 in red. Richards with the puck. An injured Flyer, so the play is blown dead. It's Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
Well, a play along the near boards. There's Bellemare. Well, it looks like his leg gets caught right in the ice there. Not able to get back to his feet, and finally gets back to his feet. Looked like Bellemare was trying to pull out of that pile there, and it just got tangled up as he was backing out of the pile.
Yeah. Earlier this year, Edzo, he ended up having a lower body injury in Philadelphia in a game, and certainly a situation there where it looks like his leg got caught there. He's in quite a bit of discomfort coming off the ice.
Yeah, you saw that left leg there, Bush, on Mike Richards was trying to grab that puck, and was Richards' left skate that got tied up with the right skate of Bellemare, and almost making like a wishbone there, really nowhere to go. Hopefully he's going to be all right.
It's a bad feeling when your legs split like that and you can't get them back underneath you.
Top lines matched up once again. The Backstrom unit for Washington, the Giroux line for Philadelphia. Long pass across from Ovechkin to TJ Oshie. The save by Neuvert. Puck was behind him, and then it's knocked out of trouble.
Good help there from Del Zotto, and a hard, heavy shot there from Oshie.
Now Giroux dropping it off for Voracek. In behind the net for Simmons, who scored both Flyers goals in their last game against Boston. Jake Voracek. Wide to the left of Braden Holtby. Puck kept alive by Wayne Simmons. And now it is TJ Oshie for the Caps. Both teams make changes as Carl Alsner moves the puck into the Flyer zone.
That shouldn't have been icing. The goaltender looked like he left the blue paint there, but that last opportunity for TJ Oshie, it was Braden Holtby that makes the play. He's going to throw this puck around the glass, and it gets by the first couple of layers, and next thing you know, Ovechkin's got it. Oshie's there, lets a heavy shot go. Watch Michael Del Zotto come in behind there and make sure that Oshie's not able to follow up.
Yeah, Neuvert's able to make this save with his shoulder. He wasn't sure where it was. Del Zotto came to the rescue, but a good save for Neuvert nonetheless to start the hockey game for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Puck deflects up into the Caps penalty box, so they will do it again. There's TJ Oshie, who played for the head coach of the Flyers, Dave Haxtell, at the University of North Dakota, as did his Washington teammate Taylor Chorney and Chris Vandevelde of the Flyers.
Hockey factor in college hockey there in North Dakota.
John Carlson, number 74, back in the Washington lineup. Missed the last 12 games. Kuznetsov moves the puck in deep. This is Radko Gudas, paired tonight with Brandon Manning, as the Flyers shuffled 2 of their 3 defense pairings. Braden Shen to the far side for Matt Reed. Followed up by Kuznetsov. Puck held in at the right point by Mark Streit. And then it's sent out by Nate Schmidt of Washington. Reed back across. Reed had his shot blocked by the stick of Carlson.
Nice little stick handling play there by Reed around Kuznetsov. Wasn't able to get a shot on goal, but there you see the skill level of Matt Reed, who's finally healthy after a tough year last year, being banged up pretty much all season long.
Yeah, Eddie, they need to get him going. He's been a guy that in the past has really contributed to the Flyers offense. That was not the case last year. He's starting to play much better for the Flyers now.
Washington penalty, delayed call. Touch is made by Chorney. Flyers will have the game's first power play. Tom Wilson to the box for interference at 4:48 of period 1.
Well, here's Wilson, and he's going to go ahead and make his move up the ice, and Sam Gagner is along the boards. Orlov's there, pinch, and probably a little bit late there for the liking of the official, and yeah, it's interference, so I think the right call made there on an early power play here for the Flyers.
Brought to you by Sears. Flyers 5 for their last 13. They score! Make it 6 of 14. Braden Shen gives Philadelphia the early lead.
Boy, you win a faceoff, and the puck ends up in the back of the net. 6 seconds into the man advantage for the Flyers. Braden Shen finds himself all alone right in front of Braden Holtby. Faceoff win, move the puck. Giroux down low, And then that puck takes a funny bounce off the stick of Carl Alzner and beats Braden Holtby.
Well, the puck's rolling right here, Eddie. It's on edge. It got tipped there by Carl Alzner, and that was the reason why Braden Holtby was not able to pick it up off the stick of Braden Schenn. The Flyers' power play was a strength of theirs last year. It's been something that's let them down at the beginning of the year. This year, they've been heating up as of late. They made no mistake getting on the board early on here.
Flyers score on their first shot on goal of the period. Number 12 on the season for Braden Schenn. Flyers have had their issues in the first periods of games this season as Oshie spins. Backhand shot just wide to the left of Neuvert. Coming into the game, as Ovechkin sends one through the crease, Flyers outscored in the first period, guys, 40-22. Alzner's shot deflects wide. Oshie chasing down, keeps it away from Del Zotto. Flipped ahead by Giroux. And now Niskanen's shot deflects out of play.
Well, Shane Gostisbehere has this puck, and I want everybody to keep an eye on Matt Niskanen because he thinks that the pass is going to go from Gostisbehere to here. But what does he do? He ends up throwing it down to Wayne Simmonds. Watch this. He reads this play. That lane opens up. Now all of a sudden there's that quick 2-on-1 play, and the puck ends up in the back of the net. So Niskanen trying to be aggressive, but give the youngster Gostisbehere credit there for bypassing that pressure, and all of a sudden it's a quick developing play, and it's a 2-on-1 right in front of Braden Holtby, but just great execution. The Flyers knowing what the Capitals were going to do in that particular play, and 6 seconds into the power play, puck ends up in the back of the net.
Gostisbehere, Eddie, having an outstanding rookie season. He leads all rookie defensemen in goals and points. Well, the Flyers connect early on the power play. This is Van de Velde out to the point for a shot, and a save by Holtby on Schultz. Puck cleared out of the zone by Michael Lattis. Strike back to play it for the Flyers. Now Carlson. Puck rolls deep into the Flyer zone. Lawton dangerously out in front of his goal. And it's backhanded ahead by Ryan White. Marcus Johansson, 6.5 in first period. Each team with 2 shots. Flyers lead 1-0.
You can see a little bit of the rust on the Capitals here, just not sharp in a lot of areas. Again, you can practice all you want, but the speed of the National Hockey League will take a little while for the Capitals to get up to speed after being off a week.
Saved by Holtby on Brandon Manning. An early power play goal for Philadelphia. Braden Schenn, 12th of the season, is 6th on the power play. 1-0. Kraft is looking for the most passionate hockey community in America. Nominate your community for a chance to host an NHL preseason game, plus $150,000 in arena upgrades. Nominations now open. Kraft Hockey Bill for the love of hockey. Flyers control off the faceoff. Simmonds towards the net, stick to side by Holtby. Flyers have now scored the first goal in 8 of their last 10 games. And now another penalty.
They're going to call both of them?
Yeah, they're taking both, Eddie.
Embellishment on Voracek, I would assume.
Backstrom and Voracek. Backstrom for holding, Voracek for embellishment.
Well, there you see the penalty on Backstrom there, and then Jake Voracek trying to sell it. And the referee, I believe, makes the right call there and calls both players.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Voracek embellished that a bit.
So the team skate 4 aside for the next 2 minutes. Gostisbehere not able to get the shot through, keeps the puck in the cap zone.
What a nice read there from Gostisbehere.
Gostisbehere puts this one on net. Holtby hangs on.
Boy, great anticipation there by the young defenseman just to hang in a little bit longer there to keep that play alive. And I mean, that's one area for sure that general manager Ron Hextall has really concentrated on here over the last year plus or so, trying to improve that defense. They got some young defensemen coming, but And the skill level of Gostisbehere to be able to skate the Flyers out of trouble, to be able to make plays in the offensive zone. And as we showed on that goal, just great ice awareness there to get the puck down low.
That shot blocked in front, and then a backhand opportunity for Strike. Holtby again hangs on to it.
Hey, Bush, you played this position, goaltender for the National Hockey League for many years. What's the greatest challenge for a guy like Braden Holtby, who has not seen a game action in over a week and now getting back into it tonight?
It's a great question, because a guy like him is in a groove. He's playing every other night, and to have this time off for him is probably the worst thing that could happen for him. So for him, it's about getting quality practice time in, but even in practices, not like games, he needs to feel the puck early on in this hockey game in order to get back into the groove, and giving one up early is probably not what he was expecting, but expect him to feel the puck and get back into this hockey game.
Is it the reason with the shots, it's just because you just don't know where they're coming from? I mean, in the games, is that pretty much what it is?
Well, I think you're just used to playing every night. You prepare the way you have to prepare. You're in a routine, and when you get out of that routine, it's more off ice than anything that kind of throws you off your game a little bit. So for Holtby, it's going to be about getting that quality of shots, handling pucks, getting back into the flow of game will go a long way in getting him back on his feet here.
Yeah, different speed, guys screening in front of you, guys looking to put the puck through you. And a much different animal for sure.
And he loves to play. Led the league in starts last season with 72. Talked to Barry Trotz earlier. He said Holtby is such a hard worker, hates sitting out games. Already has 30 wins.
Probably come a time towards the end of the season we're going to have to give the guy a little bit of a breather without question.
I agree, Eddie. I don't think you want to play him too much. If this team plans on playing deep into the spring, I think they want to manage his ice time here after the break.
Pass from Chimera, gets by Niskanen. Orlov for Johansson. 15 seconds remaining on the Backstrom and Voracek penalties.
Nice play by Matt Reed there to get the puck out of the zone there to Gudas.
Johansson then hit by Gudas. Bouncing puck. And Delzato controls for the Flyers as Backstrom and Voracek return. Both teams back to full strength. This is Voracek. Nice move into the cap zone. Simmons dropping it off. Held in along the wall by Gostisbehere, and then it's cleared back the other way. Simmons on it once again for Philadelphia. For the All-Star, Claude Giroux. Now Jake Voracek. 10.5 to play, first period. Flyers with a power play goal from Braden Shen. Lead the Caps 1-0. Puck poked away from Voracek by Schmidt. Gostisbehere up the boards, down into the Washington end. Taylor Chorney off the stick of Braden Shen. Carlson moves the puck ahead. Mike Richards. Covered by Neuvert. Just past the midway point of period one in Washington.
Coach, before the game, you talked about there being some rust in your club. How do you feel your start's been so far?
Well, I think we haven't given up much, but we haven't got much. So, you know, you can tell things are closing up a little quicker than normal for us. We're not handling pucks clean. So hopefully as the game goes on, we'll be a little smoother with it.
Thanks for doing this, Coach.
All right, take care.
Barry Trotz in his second season as Capitals coach. And guys, how about Carl Alsner? Sets a franchise record tonight by playing in his 423rd consecutive game, surpassing the can't-miss kid, Bob Carpenter, who played in 422 straight for Washington.
Yeah, they had a nice video tribute. Bobby Carpenter said some nice words to Carl Alsner, and it's a lot of hockey.
A video message as well from another ex-Cap, Doug Jarvis, who holds the all-time NHL record, 964 consecutive games. Ironically, Eddie, John Carlson, who is on the ice now, had he not gotten hurt, would have set the record. He was 2 games ahead of Alsner. He missed the last 12. He would have broken Carpenter's record 2 games ago.
So no video tribute to John Carlson,
right,
huh?
Exactly.
He starts a new streak tonight. 1. He had played in 412 consecutive games. Flyers with a 1-0 lead as the puck is sent in deep to the left of Braden Holtby.
Good to see Belmar back on the ice there. That was a good pickup through the middle of the ice, where you fell down a little bit earlier. Good save from Holtby there off of White.
Kuznetsov gives the puck away. White scores! 2-0 Flyers. Ryan White takes advantage of the giveaway by the Caps' leading scorer, Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Well, hard work to start this shift for the Flyers, his fourth line. And then they take advantage of the giveaway from Evgeny Kuznetsov. Scrambly, rust, however you want to call it, trying to make a pass there to Schmidt, and it goes right onto the tape of White, and he beats Braden Holtby cleanly.
Well, this is what you get when you have a skilled player like Evgeny Kuznetsov. He's not afraid to make plays like that in his defensive zone. He had a bad read right there. He put it right on the tape of Ryan White, and Ryan White made no mistake. This line for the Flyers is their energy line, and they provided it in that shift right there.
Now Chimera and Simmons having some words off the face-off. And the key with that goal with White as well is that he one-timed the puck. He didn't settle it down, dust it off, give Holtby an opportunity. He was aggressive too. Holtby was leaving that blue paint, trying to cut down the angle, and White did exactly what you wanted to do, get the goaltender in between, and a perfectly placed shot.
The Capitals have the first 2 shots of the game. The Flyers have the last 8. 5th goal of the season for Ryan White, unassisted at 11-11 of period 1. Pass intended for Gostisbehere, picked off by Chimera. Tom Wilson chasing along with Delzato. Voracek for the Flyers. Scott Lawton held up by Niskanen. Lawton with the puck. Keeps it away from Marcus Johansson.
Good work there by Lawton, winning that battle and keeping the play alive.
Radko Gudas with a shot. Puck knocked into the corner by Niskanen and then chipped out of the zone by Chimera. Picked up by Wilson. Nice move on Manning and a save by Neuvert.
Good save by Neuvert there. Tough when the guy's cutting across the ice. You're not sure if he's going to shoot back against the grain. He was able to make that pad save.
Shot by Backstrom, deflected wide off the stick of Oshie. Alex Ovechkin knocked to the ice by Radko Gudas. Backstrom keeps the puck alive in the Philadelphia zone as Ovechkin goes back at Gudas. .7:15 remaining first period. Flyers with a 2-0 lead on the Washington Capitals, who lead the league in wins and points. A record of 35-8-3. Backstrom cutting wide. Drops it off for Dmitry Orlov. Puck set up the boards by Schultz. And then cleared out by Braden Shen, who scored the game's first goal.
I think for the Capitals to try to get their skating legs into it, it's got to be almost a mindset of red line it in, dump the puck in, go get it. Everybody's got to know, look, if you got an odd man situation, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, we're going to make a play. But if not, red line it in, get our legs into it, trying to get the rust off.
First game in 8 days for the Caps. Since last Tuesday's 6-3 win in Columbus. They had 2 home games postponed over the weekend. Friday against Anaheim, Sunday, Pittsburgh. Caps offside.
Let's take a look at our Wendy's RoboCam here and see the save by Michael Neuvert on Tom Wilson. He's able to chip it past the defender for the Flyers, Brandon Manning, and then he shoots it in stride. And as a goaltender, you're not sure if he's going to shoot back against the grain to the stick side. Neuvert was in really good position, really calm feet right there, and was able to make a nice left pad save.
Neuvert, a second-round pick of the Caps back in 2006, played in 134 games for Washington. He and Holtby were together for 5 years with Hershey in the American Hockey League and with the Caps. Initially, Holtby backed up Neuvert, and then they flip-flopped. Neuvert seeing his first regular season action against Washington. He actually played 11 minutes in a playoff game last year for the New York Islanders against the Caps in relief of Yaroslav Halak. Chorney moves the puck up the boards. Kept in the zone by the Flyers, who lead 2-0. They're out shooting the Caps 8-3. Shot by White gets blocked. Quick transition led by Chorney. Gudas, met by Brooks Laich. Van de Velde moves the puck ahead, and it's carried out by Belmar, who shoots in. Schenn and White with the Flyers goals. Burakovsky. Williams drops it off. Kuznetsov turned aside by Neuvert.
Nice play by Williams there. A little one-touch pass to Kuznetsov.
Sam Gagner flips the puck ahead, back in the lineup. Recalled from the minor leagues. Second game since his return, and a big glove save by Holtby on R.J. Umberger, who has not scored this season in 32 games. One more look. Flyers lead 2-0.
Well, there's Justin Williams. This puck is going to go him, but watch the quick little one-touch pass he makes to Evgeny Kuznetsov. Slows this puck down. Kuznetsov gets the chance. Rebound there. Good coverage by the Flyers. And here's that chance for R.J. Umberger. And remember on the Ryan White goal, what did he do? He one-timed the puck. He didn't settle it down. And there, Umberger allowed Braden Holtby to move right to left to be able to make that save. Remember that stop. I mean, that's an incredible save there with your team struggling, getting outplayed for the majority of the first period. And your goaltender makes a save like that. So for R.J. Umberger, the beat goes on, unfortunately for him, but just a quality chance, but a tremendous save there from Holtby.
Dating back to last season, Eddie, 49 games without a goal for Umberger, who's a 5-time 20-goal scorer in the National Hockey League. Flyers lead 2-0. Giroux knocked down by Backstrom. A couple of guys heading to Nashville this coming weekend. Capitals will send 3 players and head coach Barry Trotz to All-Star Weekend. There's one. Ovechkin with a shot. Neuvert got a piece of it.
Boy, just barely. That great release of Ovechkin.
Eddie, he's so deadly off the rush there. It's frightening as a goaltender to see him come down that off wing. He can score from just about anywhere on the ice.
Especially when he changes that angle, Bouchard, when he comes down that wall and he just pulls that puck in a little bit or pushes it to the middle of the ice. If you're not tracking that puck, there's going to be some room there because he just has that great, slight, quick a hand and is able to change that angle.
And he has the uncanny ability to use the defenseman as a screen, which makes it even more difficult. Tremendous shot.
Brian, you know firsthand.
I do.
Did we just have a 10-year anniversary?
Thanks, Kenny. Trying to not live that thing down, man.
No icing as Chorney plays the puck.
Is that goal in Arizona?
Yeah, you're playing dumb right now.
I'm just filling. Well, look, I do that every day, so I'm just filling people in. That's all.
The Caps are offside. 3.5 remaining in period 1. Well, NHL All-Star Weekend heads to Nashville. Hockey meets hockey talk. The biggest names and the greatest skills compete in the 2016 Honda NHL All-Star Weekend. Coverage begins Friday, 8 Eastern on NBCSN with NHL All-Star Friday night live in Music City. These guys will be there. Claude Giroux, his 4th All-Star game. Backstrom, his 1st. Ovechkin, 6th. Holtby's 1st. Talking to Barry Trotz earlier, he could not believe that Nicholas Backstrom has never been to an All-Star game. Brian, what's going on in front of you?
Well, the door of the penalty box for the Flyers is open. Looks like it's going to be too many men on the ice.
Raffl heading to the bench, number 12.
Yeah, and I think there was another player in the back in the corner. Yeah, right at the blue line there. My mistake. Wasn't at the bottom, it was at the top of the screen. So too many men on the ice for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Capitals power play brought to you by Sears. Capitals with the number 1 ranked power play in the entire league at 27%. What have they done in their last 2 games? Go 4 for 6. Not too bad. So it's a bench minor for too many men. At 16:33 of period one as the Flyers clear the puck down ice.
Good play there from Belmar to get it to Van de Velde.
Flyers just 26th on the penalty kill. Puck fired in on goal by Nick Schultz. Good work down low by Flyers forward Belmar. And now Belmar again able to clear.
I think until the Capitals can get their passing down, it's got to be simple. It's got to be the less passing you do, get the puck in, go get it. It may not be with the way you want to enter the zone, but I mean, they're fighting it right now. It's a good play by Chimera. Now you got to get the hard hats on and get to work and retrieve that puck.
Chimera scored 2 power play goals in the first meeting with Philadelphia this season. Backstrom with the puck. Oshie setting up in front. This is Chimera. Backstrom across to Ovechkin. And his shot gets blocked. Ovechkin lost his stick. Kicks the puck to Chimera. Ovechkin heading to the bench for a new stick. Shot by Niskanen misses the net. 40 seconds remaining on the power play for Washington as the Flyers clear the puck down, and it hits off the linesman Matt McPherson, allowing the Capitals to quickly bring it back across. Ovechkin for Burakovsky and a right pad save by Neuvirth. Flyers clear.
Boy, what a great pick up there. That was not an easy reception at all by Burakovsky. Ovechkin got the new twig, found the puck in the middle of the ice, and Burakovsky with a good chance.
Orlov down the left side with 10 seconds remaining on the Flyers penalty, which is being served by Sam Gagner. One shot. The man advantage for Washington. Gagner out of the box. Orlov with the puck. Broken up by Giroux. Good job by Voracek to stay onside. Carl Alsner with 1:10 remaining in the period. Deflected along by Justin Williams, so no icing. Mark Streit with 1 minute to play. Flyers with goals from Schenn on the power play and then White off a giveaway. Lead the Caps 2-0. Wayne Simmons had the puck knocked away by Niskanen. Latta with a centering pass, could not be handled by Richards. Kept alive by Alsner for Michael Latta. Voracek intercepts and clears with 35 seconds remaining. Race for the puck. Simmons beats Niskanen to it, and a save by Holtby. Now the Caps have iced the puck with 21 7/10 seconds on the clock. Let's take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Capitals won the President's Trophy back in 2010, Eddie, but lost in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They have the best record in the NHL 6 years later.
Yeah, expectations are high with the way that the regular season has gone, but like a lot of teams, doesn't really matter what happens in the regular season. Just get in, and there's going to be a penalty here.
Niskanen.
Yeah, Matt Niskanen. So after the icing call, Niskanen upends R.J. Umberger. So for the Washington Capitals, they just want to get out of this period down 2. Now Latta and Manning having words after the penalty was called. But it's been a grind, to say the least, for the Washington Capitals. And no question, as Bush was talking to Barry Trotz about the rust factor and just not able to handle the puck and make plays. Try to regroup after the first period, get ready for the second. What an opportunity here. Remember, first goal of the game came 6 seconds into the power play. Plenty of time here for the Flyers to generate and maybe get a second chance opportunity. They can win the faceoff.
This is game number 47 for the Flyers. They have led after the first period 5 times in 46 games. Flyers control. Time winding down in period 1. Gostisbehere with a shot, deflects to the netting.
Boy, he does a real nice job here to change the angle. Looked like TJ Oshie thought that Gostisbehere was going to get this puck to Claude Giroux, but then he changes the angle. Watch what he does here. Gets this puck, pulls it in, and now that quick little stick handle there opens up that lane. Good job by Oshie to not fall for that pass over to Giroux.
Giroux wins the draw. 3 seconds. Backhand shot by Gostisbehere, misses the net. And the first period comes to an end. Flyers outshoot the Caps 12-6 and lead by the score of 2-0. Stay tuned for the Lexus Intermission Report with Liam, Mike, and Keith, along with NHL insider Darren Dreger. And Shane Gostisbehere in his rookie season sparks the Philadelphia Flyers. Brayden Schenn with the first goal on the power play, and then Ryan White off a giveaway. It's Wednesday night rivalry presented by Coors Light. Flyers with a 2-0 lead on the Capitals. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Welcome back to our nation's capital. We get set for the second period. Flyers with a 2-0 lead on the Caps. We go inside the glass. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance with Brian.
Thanks, Kenny. We talked about the rust that the Washington Capitals had in that first period. The Flyers played on Monday night, and you could see it. They had their skating legs going. They were able to get in on pucks, get first on pucks, win battles, create scoring opportunities by getting first on puck. This one right here, Umberger first to the puck. He's able to get that quality scoring opportunity. You can see Simmons had his skating legs there in the first period, led to a scoring chance. The Philadelphia Flyers definitely in that first period looked like the fresher of the two teams. We'll have to see if Washington can respond here in the second.
Flyers outshot the Capitals 12-6 in the first. Philadelphia begins the second period on a power play with Matt Niskanen in the box for another minute 40. Flyers open the game with a power play goal from Brayden Schenn as Simmons knocks the puck down. Simmons moves it out to the left point. And now Claude Giroux. Giroux into the slot, and the shot by Schenn misses the net to the left. Gostisbehere keeps it in the zone, then it's forced the other way by Oshie. Moving in on Neuvirth, and he misses the net. Back the other way come the Flyers, led by Schenn. Good defensive play by Oshie. And the puck is carried out by Mike Richards. Tom Wilson sends in deep with under a minute to go on the Niskanen minor. Flyers now 6 for their last 14 on the power play. Another 40 seconds remaining on this one. Nate Schmidt sends the puck in deep. Neuvirth keeps it away from Tom Wilson. Down to 20 seconds on the Washington penalty. Nice move at the line by Gagne, but the Flyers are offside.
Yeah, it was Matt Reed that couldn't pull up after the extra move by Sam Gagne, but the Capitals looking for something good to happen. TJ Oshie gets that rolling puck off of Shane Gostisbehere, and all of a sudden Oshie's in. Goes to shoot that puck and just airmails it up and over the net, over to the left glove side of Michael Neuvirth.
Yeah, initially I thought, Eddie, that puck didn't settle down for him, but right at the last moment it did settle down for Oshie. He just missed his mark on that chance, a quality scoring opportunity for the Capitals.
Penalty time winding down as Chorney sends the puck up the boards, kept alive by Manning. Strike with a drive. Now Gagne with the puck. Niskanen out of the box. Manning with a shot, missing the net to the right. Knocked off the stick of Ruffel by Alsner. So the Flyers now 1 for 2 on the power play. Shot by Strike, blocked in front by Alsner. And now Justin Williams controls for the Caps. Just over 2 minutes in, second period. Capitals with 12 straight home wins. Trail tonight 2-0. Flyers scored 2 goals in the first period for only the 3rd time this season. 2nd time in their last 3 games. As that rebound attempt hopped over the stick of Ovechkin after the Neuvert save.
Boy, Schmidt found a way to get that puck to the net, and the puck went right to Ovechkin and just was not able to make any contact at all.
Now Backstrom centers. Vandevelde for the Flyers, dropping it off for Belmar. Schmidt back for Washington. Backstrom over to help out, and now Ovechkin. Ovechkin took a hit. Centering pass blocked off by Orlov. And now it is Oshie. 3 minutes gone by, second period. Burakovsky with a shot. And that got blocked by the stick of Radko Gudas. Puck held in at the line by Justin Williams, the ex-Flyer. Walsner pinching. Lets the puck go through to Williams. Niskanen with a shot, missing the net to the right.
Perhaps seem a little quicker here in the second period. Like they're making some passes tape to tape, finally connecting on some of their execution through the middle of the ice.
It's been a long time. First game in 8 days. Barry Trotz said in some ways it has felt like an Olympic break.
And they're going to get another handful of days off here with this the last game before the All-Star break.
Right, they will not play again until next Tuesday. So this is the only game for the Capitals over a stretch of 13 days.
That's pretty incredible.
Puck came out of the zone, brought back in by Streit. Offside.
Go back to that chance. Couple of good chances for the Capitals here in the second period. The last one, the shot from Nate Schmidt. He finds its way through. The save by Neuvert, and there's Alexander Ovechkin looking for this puck, and Neuvert's able to kick it by the stick of Ovechkin. A little bit of air under that, and a missed opportunity for the Capitals.
Neuvert was just able to get his stick on that puck, Eddie, and allow that puck to have a little bit of elevation and not allow Ovechkin to get a stick on it. But I'll tell you, if Ovechkin's standing there all night and he gets those opportunities, they're not going to hop over his stick much more tonight, because that's his wheelhouse right there. He'll bury those 9 times out of 10.
503 career goals for Alex Ovechkin, 28 this season. Only Patrick Kane with 30 has scored more. Flyers lead the Caps 2-0. Schenn and White with the Philadelphia goals. Mike Richards had it knocked away by Scott Laughton. Now Tom Wilson for the Caps. Out to John Carlson. And the Flyers able to clear Umberger with help from Gagne. Both teams make changes. Here come the Caps. Kuznetsov throws one towards the net. Puck is loose. Carlson had an opportunity. Neuvert was down. And Schenn clears the puck out.
Don't know if that puck hit Brooks Lake standing in the blue paint, but what a power move by Kuznetsov.
Here's Kuznetsov again. Throws one into the crease. Now Orlov. Michael Latta. Latta battling with Raffl. Kuznetsov on the puck. The Caps' leading scorer, Evgeny Kuznetsov. Sends towards the net. And Neuvert able to keep it away from Latta.
Well, here's that power move from Evgeny Kuznetsov, and then John Carlson, defenseman, jumps into play, finds this loose puck. Looks like he's got an opportunity, and Brooks Lake standing right in the blue paint. The chance, yeah, it either goes off a read or like, and if not, that puck ends up in the back of the net. It's a 2-1 game.
Our player profile with insights from SAP. Kuznetsov leading the Caps in assists and points, and he's second in the league in plus minus at plus 25. Off the face-off, quick shot by Ovechkin, turned aside by Neuvert.
I mean, that 1-2 punch of Backstrom and Kuznetsov. Depth up front, and the additions of Justin Williams and TJ Oshie by general manager Brian McClellan is giving the Capitals some more offensive depth. So if Backstrom and Ovechkin maybe go a little bit dry, you got a guy like Kuznetsov to be able to give that depth in that second line. a little bit of a different look over the last handful of years.
Kuznetsov with 7 points over the last 2 games, all on assists. A 4-assist game against the New York Rangers and then 3 against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, leads the Capitals in scoring.
Here comes Ovechkin with a shot, and it's kicked out by the left hand of Neuvert. Well, Neuvert had to face Ovechkin in practice for 4 years.
Hey, Bush, you think that's an advantage? What's your thought there on knowing the shooters, having played with them and practice with them? You think you have an edge there as a goaltender?
I think as long as you don't overthink it, I think if you're in the moment, you know where he has tendencies to shoot. You know, like Ovechkin, I think he likes to shoot high. I think Neuvert knows that. He has to be aggressive when he's on the rush. Neuvert seems locked in, though, when Ovechkin is coming down on the rush. He knows he has to be aware of his shot, and he's been sharp against him here so far.
Niskanen holds the puck in for the Caps. Around for Justin Williams. 7 minutes gone. Second period. Flyers lead 2-0. Shots in the second period. It's 6-0 Washington.
And Eddie, you mentioned that the Capitals look like a team that's turning around here in the second period. It's noticeable from down here.
It's almost seamless here. I mean, they're just making passes. First period, they made it was difficult to make one pass, let alone a couple.
Burakovsky with the puck for Washington out to the point. Shot by Niskanen, save made by Neuvert.
That got redirected right before it got to him.
Burakovsky has time. He scores!
Well, this one right here, Andre Burakovsky is going to be able to pick up off a turnover by Washington on the forecheck. Burakovsky in the slot. Nate Schmidt does a good job of creating that turnover. And that shot right there fools Michael Neuvert. Not sure if there was some traffic in front of him. Gostisbehere's pass bounces on Sam Gagner. Schmidt is right there to turn it over. And Burakovsky snaps it past Michael Neuvert for the Washington goal.
Yeah, just a matter of time for the Capitals with the way they've been coming here since the start of this period. And Neuvert made a really good save right before that opportunity. But what a great release by Burakovsky. The second line gets on the board for the Washington Capitals.
Every NHL game live online on mobile, tablet, and now on connected TVs with NBC Sports Live Extra. Download the app or go to NBCSports.com/Live Extra and watch the biggest events anytime, anywhere. Capitals on the board. Burakovsky from Schmidt at 7:39. And the Caps guys are now out shooting the Flyers here in the middle period. 8-0. Here comes Simmons. And a terrific defensive play by Niskanen.
Boy, after a really good play by Jake Voracek to get that puck up to Wayne Simmons right at the blue line to create that 2-on-1. Simmons just waited way too long to make a decision there, and then Niskanen slides right over.
Voracek with the puck, slides it across. Shot blocked by Oshie. Nice pass ahead from Backstrom to Oshie. Here come the Caps, trailing by a goal. Oshie dropping it off. Backstrom, score! Two goals in 55 seconds.
Boy, if you're Dave Haxtell, the head coach of the Flyers, maybe you look to slow this game down and get a timeout because the Caps have found their game. What a play by TJ Oshie. Way too much time here given by Michael Del Zotto. At some point there, you got to pressure, take away the passing lane. Backstrom finds that soft little area, and Neuvert gets a piece, but not enough. And this game is tied up at 2. Same spot that Burakovsky scored, glove side. It finds its way to the back of the net.
Eddie, I would like to see Michael Del Zotto close in on Oshie a little bit more, make it more uncomfortable for him. He gave him way too much time and space and allowed Oshie to make that play. Got to close on the offensive players of the Capitals.
Capitals with the first 9 shots of the period. They have scored twice and have come back from a 2-0 deficit. First Burakovsky, his 6th, and then Backstrom, his 16th.
Right after that goal, Alexander Ovechkin did a little bit of a flyby there by his former teammate in the blue paint, Michael Neuvert.
He's been known to chat with a goaltender or two.
You got to expect ex-teammates to chirp one another from time to time, try and get inside their heads a little bit.
Probably said, I'm next.
Here's Brooks Light for the Caps, cutting wide.
Second goal scored by number 19.
Capitals have lost a forward, guys. Marcus Johansson has suffered an upper body injury. We are told he will not return. Johansson, the Caps' third-line centerman. Here's Backstrom, who tied the game moments ago.
Just off a terrific play by T.J. Oshie. Just a beautiful pass. Had all that time to be able to make that play. And the Caps have certainly found their game here in the second.
Flyers still without a shot in the second period. They had the early power play. Here's Niskanen with a shot, and that gets blocked in front. Niskanen with the puck again. Alsner with a drive, another block. This time by Ryan White.
2 huge blocks there for the Flyers.
Schultz had the first one.
Schultz and then White. Here's Kuznetsov, but Latta was still in the zone. Capitals offside. 9:15 remaining, second period. All Caps here in the second. 2 goals in 55 seconds for Washington.
Coach, it's been a tale of 2 periods so far tonight. What do you guys have to get back to here in this second period?
Well, I think, we knew they would have a good push here in the first part of the second period, and they have. We just have to get back to our game. A little bit more north-south, pushing the puck up ice. We haven't had a whole lot of pucks in behind their D. We need to start with that.
Thanks for doing this, Coach.
Thank you.
They haven't had the puck, and that's the problem. You want to play north-south, you got to get the puck first. Capitals have found their skating game, and look, the numbers don't lie. Been all Caps here.
Flyers with 2 first-period goals from Schenn and White. Burakovsky and Backstrom 55 seconds apart for the Caps. Burakovsky from Schmidt. Backstrom from Oshie and Alsner. Kuznetsov with the puck. And now another block shot. Alsner had his shot blocked by Simmons. Kuznetsov. Cuts behind the Flyers net with the puck. Off the skate of Williams, held in by Alsner for Burakovsky.
It looked like Williams was ready for that puck. You see the skill level of Kuznetsov. Look at this. I mean, he wants the puck.
Capitals playing keep away here in the second period. Kuznetsov slides one across. And another opportunity from Alsner gets blocked. Niskanen with the puck for Williams. Justin Williams away from Kuznetsov, held in by Alsner. Burakovsky taken to the boards by Simmons. Now Williams for Kuznetsov for the save by Neuvert.
What a great pass there from Williams. Just a game of keep away on that shift. The second line for the Capitals, just domination.
Capitals back in. Kuznetsov. Puck rolls down into the Washington zone. Just under 8 minutes remaining in period 2. Backstrom, Ovechkin, Oshie back on the ice for the Caps. Manning hounded by Backstrom. Carlson. And a shot by Schmidt is handled by Neuvert.
So you can see the confidence level going way up here in the second period. There's Justin Williams. Finds Evgeny Kuznetsov in the high slot. Nobody there for the Flyers, and Michael Neuvert. Kuznetsov goes blocker side there. Remember, both goals went to the glove side of Michael Neuvert, but just a credible shift there for the Washington Capitals and a big-time stop there from Neuvert.
Well, guys, we were talking to Coach Barry Trotz before the game, and he was talking about Evgeny Kuznetsov, and he said he's he's easy on the eyes to watch, and that shift right there showed it all. I mean, man, oh man, it was like a boy playing against men playing against boys in that shift. He was fantastic. The skill level that he possesses.
23 years of age, first-round pick by the Caps back in 2010, has taken a major step. Barry Trotz telling us that he took a big step in the playoffs last year, and that continued into the regular season. Here's Ovechkin. Backstrom tried to slide it across. And now the Flyers back the other way. Shots are now 11-0 Washington here in period 2. Washington Capitals with 35 wins, 73 points. Tops in the National Hockey League. Richards lost an edge, had the puck knocked away. Cleared out by Michael Ruffel. Chorney up the boards and out. Richards into the Flyer zone. Deflected by Wilson and then blocked in front by Nick Schultz. Puck knocked away from Reed. Here's Streit. That's the first Flyers shot of the period. It took nearly 14 minutes. Puck kept alive by the Flyers. Ruffel finds Reed.
Penalty on Holtby coming up, I believe, for tripping.
Yep. Neuvert off to the bench for the extra attacker as Reed fires. That's blocked in front by Orlov. Now it is Schenn. Giroux, cross ice. Oh, big save by Holtby as he robs Mark Streit. And now the Flyers will go to the power play. What a stop by the all-star goaltender for the Washington Capitals, Braden Holtby.
Well, the penalty on Braden Holtby. Watch the left leg of Holtby. Matt Reed going hard to the net. Looks like Reed's going to beat him to the far side, and a little bit of a grab of the arm, or using the arm as well, sticking the leg out. Right call made, and an opportunity for the Flyers, but what a stop right after that by Holtby.
Flyers' third power play. They are 1 for 2. Voracek with the puck out to Gostisbehere. And now Giroux with Simmons setting up in front. Giroux back out for a shot by Gostisbehere off the side of the net.
Good screen by Simmons in front of the net.
Holtby gives Simmons a shove with his stick. Simmons with the puck, cross ice for Voracek. And now Gostisbehere. Shot wide off the stick of Giroux, and it caroms all the way down into the Philadelphia zone.
Well, the Flyers had a good look there. Simmons had Voracek on the back door. Unfortunately, put it on his backhand and not on his forehand. Execution's the key on the power play. They weren't able to pull that off there, the Flyers.
Here's Voracek with 5 minutes remaining in period 2. Schenn dropping it off for Gostisbehere. Giroux on the return from Gostisbehere, and that shot deflects wide off the stick of Schenn. Voracek moves the puck around for Claude Giroux. Gostisbehere to the far side, away from Voracek. Kept alive by the Flyers with 45 seconds remaining on the Holtby penalty, which is being served by Orlov. Simmons keeps the puck in the Washington zone. Spins away from Brooks Laich, who is without a stick. Giroux for Gostisbehere. Back to the All-Star, Claude Giroux. Now Schenn looks to get it across. Carlson can't clear. Giroux keeps it alive off the glove of the stickless Laich. And now a shot by Schenn gets blocked in front. Wilson getting a piece of it. 15 seconds remaining on the Washington penalty. Here's Giroux. Time winding down on this power play. Gostisbehere to Voracek, and it's blocked, and then cleared by Laich. He dove without a stick, and he cleared the puck down.
Kind of hand pass here. What a block by Nate Schmidt there at the end of that penalty kill for the Washington Capitals.
Boy, outstanding work by the forward tandem there of Tom Wilson and Brooks Laich up front. I'm surprised that the Flyers really didn't try to isolate Brooks Laich here. No stick, you're able to isolate him, make a 2-on-1 there, but there's that shot block that Bush is talking about, and then Laich with no stick, wardrobe malfunction, just punches that puck out. And Just a huge sequence there for the Washington Capitals.
Orlov stepping out of the box, the recipient of the hand pass. Flyers now 1 for 3 on the power play. We remain tied at 2. Here come the Capitals. Burakovsky held off at the line. Manning plays the puck. Around it squirts behind the Flyers net with 3.5 to play. Second period. Ryan White has scored the second Philadelphia goal. First one in is Van de Velde. Van de Velde battling with Orlov. Van de Velde lost a glove. Caps clear the zone. Philadelphia 2 in the first. Washington 2 in the second. Shots here in the second period. 11-3 in favor of the Caps. Puck held in at the right point. Niskanen with a shot blocked in front. Quick transition by the Flyers. Manning for R.J. Umberger. Cutting wide on Alsner.
Good recovery there by Alsner. Looked like Umberger had a step on him, but great stick to be able to knock that puck away.
Scott Lawton off the stick of Umberger. Kuznetsov steps in front of Gagne. Can't clear. Held in by the Flyers. Lawton. Gagne drops it off. Umberger with a shot. Holtby lost a stick. Makes the stop, and the Caps clear.
Boy, what an opportunity there for Sam Gagne and Braden Holtby. Like a yard sale down there. Sticks flying, legs flying. Watch the opportunity here. Gagne has it, throws it back. The chance for Umberger. Little bit of interference there by Gagne. And then the opportunity, not able to elevate that puck up and over the pad of Braden Holtby.
What a great job by Braden Holtby. His stick gets caught in Sam Gagne. That's why he loses it, and then he's able to kick his left leg out and make a desperation save.
And off the face-off, the Flyers go back on top. They lead 3-2 as Voracek beats Holtby.
Face-off win. Screen in front of the net. Bang, bang play. Holtby never moved. I think it was Alsner that ended up screening Jake Voracek on that shot, or excuse me, Holtby on that shot from Jake Voracek.
Yeah, there was no way he saw that, Eddie. There was no way. There was so much traffic right there. Claude Giroux, fantastic on faceoffs all year long, over 57%. Wins that one absolutely clean to Voracek. And no chance for Holtby because of the traffic off that faceoff.
No hesitation at all. I mean, that's the key. Now the officials are going to get together to see if this puck was airmailed out of the playing surface. Is it a delay of game or not? No reaction from Braden Holtby. He's just looking from his blue paint, and the officials come together right away.
Number 70, Washington, 2 minutes delay of game.
Oh, Kevin Pollock with the call, and
Holtby doesn't agree with it.
yeah.
So look at it right here. Hard to tell from that vantage point.
I mean, anytime a goaltender goes and plays that puck, the opponents are going to go, and there you see that puck. I mean, it looked like it kind of went around the top of the glass there, Bush.
I agree.
That look there, but the official, Kevin Pollock, was right there. I mean, he had the best seat in the house to be able to see that, and doesn't matter now, but the Flyers have got an opportunity here. The man advantage and up by 1.
Second penalty this period committed by Holtby.
Yeah.
First the trip, now the delay of game. He did not commit a penalty all season until this period. So the Flyers go on their 4th power play. They are 1 for 3. Voracek has given Philadelphia a 3-2 lead. 9 seconds after his goal. Holtby whistled for the delay of game. Giroux cannot hold the puck in. A minute 25 remaining on the penalty, which is being served by Ovechkin. Gostisbehere into the Washington zone, puts on the brakes. Voracek back out to Gostisbehere. And now Giroux, top of the left wing circle. Gostisbehere with a drive, and Holtby able to make the stop.
Boy, that puck explodes off the stick of Gostisbehere. Nice pass from Claude Giroux, puts it right in the wheelhouse, and he's got that stick ready and always wants that puck, be able to one-time that puck. I'll say that's an easy save for Braden Holtby, but he was able to see it as Wayne Simmonds was there and then moved out of the way as that shot came in on the Capital goaltender.
Giroux wins another face-off. Now Gostisbehere, quick release, stick saved by Holtby.
Redirect by Schenn right in front.
Schenn with the puck, now Simmonds over to help out. Up the boards it comes to Voracek with 1 minute remaining in period 2. Kept alive by the Flyers and then poked away by Wilson from Gostisbehere.
A couple of good efforts there. The one you mentioned, Kenny, by Wilson, and then right before that, Braden Schenn was diving to try to keep that play alive in the offensive zone.
30 seconds remaining on the Washington penalty. Here's Voracek. And it's cleared down ice by Schmidt. Knocked out of the air on the attempted clear by Neuvert. Justin Williams keeps the puck alive for the Caps. Penalty time winding down. 10 seconds remaining as Williams feeds Olsner for a shot. 12 to go in the period. Ovechkin out of the box. Flyers are 1 for 4. Capitals have killed off both of the Holtby Miners. Time winding down, and the Flyers will take a 3-2 lead into the locker room after 40 minutes. Stay tuned for the Discover Cards second intermission with Liam, Mike, and Keith. The Capitals respond after falling behind 2-0 in the first period. Can the Tampa Bay Lightning stay hot? That's coming up on our Discover Card intermission. Burakovsky and Backstrom with the Washington goals on Neuvert, tying the game at 2. But then late in the second period, it was Voracek. 3-2, Philadelphia. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Discover. Show your loyalty. Get your NHL Discover It card now. Welcome back to our nation's capital. We get set for the third period. Philadelphia Flyers with a 3-2 lead on the Washington Capitals. Let's take a look at our Mercedes-Benz storyline. Flyers with 2 first-period goals. First, Braden Schenn, and then Ryan White. Capitals with 2 in the second. Burakovsky and then Backstrom to tie the game at 2. But then Jake Voracek off a face-off win by Claude Giroux gave the Flyers a 3-2 lead. So Alex Ovechkin and the Caps look to bounce back following a snowy weekend here in the D.C. area. There's Ovechkin.
How would you know? I mean, the jacket, of course.
And some of the other Caps posting photos. Nicklas Backstrom in the snow. Having some fun, no practice, no games.
Disappointed TJ Oshie didn't have a USA jacket on there. Had the Russian jacket, you had a Sweden,
That's right.
the Swedish sweatshirt there, and
perhaps it was buried in the snow.
yeah, right.
Third period underway as Oshie flips the puck ahead. Gostisbehere over to play it for the Flyers. Capitals had the first 11 shots in the second period. Flyers had the last 6. So Philadelphia with a 3-2 lead in the final game for both teams prior to the All-Star break. Capitals back in action next Tuesday against Florida. Flyers will host Montreal the same night. Backstrom with a tough angle shot, gloved by former teammate Michael Neuvert.
Talking about a team limping into the All-Star break, the Montreal Canadiens. Wow, losing back-to-back games, same score to the Columbus Blue Jackets. It'll be a long week in Montreal, considering how they started and where they are right now.
Boy, they need Carey Price back in their lineup, and it looks like they need more than just Carey Price at this point. Man, oh man, they are free-falling.
Yeah, it's been a problem for the last couple of years, just not having that secondary scoring. The guy obviously in goal is incredible, but I don't know if I know he's great, but Bush, can he score too? I mean, I guess that's what most people would want to know.
Yeah, you know what it is, Eddie? I think he just brings that confidence
For
to the
sure.
hockey
You
club.
play on your toes,
yeah,
right?
and I just think right now this club is just, they need something. They need a boost in the arm, and I think that boost would be Carey Price, but it doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon. And you're right, I don't think he can score goals, so they need more than just Carey Price.
Flyers offside. Montreal 52 points. 4 ahead of the Flyers, 3 in back of the second wild card spot in the East. Following the game tonight on NBCSN, it's Colorado and the LA Kings. Honda NHL All-Star Weekend coverage begins Friday at 8 on NBCSN. The All-Star game on Sunday, then on Tuesday it's the Caps and the Florida Panthers. Next Wednesday, Detroit and Tampa Bay.
Well, speaking of the LA Kings, we certainly want to send a shout out to longtime play-by-play man there, Bob Miller, who's going to have some surgery here coming up. So we're thinking about the great Bob Miller, the Hall of Famer, and looking forward to seeing him at the rink real soon.
One of the all-time greats.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Bob. Puck deep in the Washington zone. Mike Richards deflects it ahead, kept alive by the Flyers. Here's Radko Gudas with a drive, and that gets blocked in front. Puck played behind the net by Lawton. Defended by Richards. R.J. Umberger for the Flyers. Now Lawton collided with his own man Gagne, and the Capitals clear the zone. 2 minutes in, third period. Flyers with a 3-2 lead. They're out shooting the Caps 19-17. Nate Schmidt coming out of his own end. Puck deflected along by Brooks Laich. Capitals lost third-line center Marcus Johansson in the second period with an upper body injury. Belmar moves the puck in deep. It is Schmidt, but it deflected out of play. We have 2.5 gone here in the third.
What a show of play by Evgeny Kuznetsov as he cleans off his shield there. Watch his stick positioning there as he comes across on the Philadelphia Flyers. Look at that stick positioning right there. I mean, that's just textbook to be able to lead with your stick on puck, take away any time and space. If that stick's up in the air, that pass is easily able to be moved out of the zone. But just a beautiful play there from Evgeny Kuznetsov. And we saw the high skill level in that second period when he had that puck on his stick for a good 15-20 seconds. Now go back to the first period, making that no-look backhand pass in the middle of the ice that you probably want to put in your back pocket. But look, I mean, this guy is taking his game to another level. As you mentioned, Kenny, talking to Barry Trotz before the game. When you can have the youngness and the skill level and have that depth, it makes the Washington Capitals a dangerous team when they have the puck.
Taylor Jordy with a shot and a glove save by Neuvirth. Barry Trotz also telling us that Kuznetsov watched a lot of tape. Teammate Nicholas Backstrom, Patrice Bergeron, another guy that he has studied.
Yeah, the one thing Barry Trotz had mentioned, I think it was earlier in the year to me about Kuznetsov, he's one of those type of players, Kenny and Bush, is that you just need to tell him once, and then he understands. I mean, and that's, as a coach, the teaching aspect of it, the player to be able to retain it, and also understanding too is, look, I mean, this player coming over last year had to get used to the different, size rink here in the National Hockey League compared to playing back home. So, it's all not only just the language barrier in the game, but the size of the rink as well.
Off the face-off, quick shot by Ovechkin, misses the net. Held in by Niskanen. Backhands across to Ovechkin, looking to get it in front to Backstrom. Held in at the line by Alsner. Niskanen with a shot, and that's turned aside by Neuvirth.
Oh, real good save there, and Neuvirth very deep in his net when he made that save and just fought it off with the right pad and the right idea there from Niskanen.
Yeah, because he was so deep in his crease, he was able to pick it up a little bit later and was able to make a reaction save in that situation.
Puck deflects off the stick of Matt Reed up into the Flyers bench.
Off the face-off, we saw a goal scored for the Philadelphia Flyers at the end of the second period. The Capitals do a good job here. Oshie wins it right back to Ovechkin, and he just misses on the far side on Michael Neuvirth right off the face-off. It's critical. Face-offs are critical, not only in the defensive zone, but if you're the Washington Capitals in the offensive zone, could lead to scoring chances. You see that save there by Michael Neuvirth as he picked it up a little late through some traffic.
It was interesting on that face-off there. You saw Claude Giroux try to go ahead on that face-off and actually helped the Washington Capitals create that chance off that faceoff.
Flyers won 56% of the draws over the first 2 periods. They lead the Caps 3-2. Here is Kuznetsov. Tries to put a move on Gudas, who hauled him down.
Boy, Braden Holtby started leaving his net. He started leaving his net, thought there was going to be a penalty. How about the play from Burakovsky to get the puck to Kuznetsov?
And now the crowd reacts as they had a look at the replay of the trip by Gudas of Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov gets back outside. There's Burakovsky. He makes the pass. Kuznetsov is there. And then a quick little trip by Gudas. Should have been a penalty. I agree with the 19,000 linesmen, or excuse me, referees here at the Verizon Center.
Capitals control off the draw. Shot by Williams. Turned aside by Neuvert. Burakovsky with the puck. And now it comes out of the zone. Retrieved by John Carlson. Back in the Washington lineup after missing the last 12 games. Here comes Kuznetsov. Burakovsky scores!
Quick transition through the middle of the ice for the Washington Capitals. Kuznetsov with speed, and then the eventual goal scorer going hard to the net. The fortunate bounce for the Capitals. Kuznetsov to Burakovsky off the post and in. But the quick movement by the Capitals, John Carlson started that whole play off.
Just a great play by the Capitals to get the puck into the Flyers zone. Lawton's not able to hang on to it. They're asleep at the wheel on the back check, leaving Burakovsky wide open. No chance for Michael Neuvert on that play. Anytime it goes east-west like that, you're able to elevate it. Really difficult for the goaltender to make a save.
Second career 2-goal game for Andre Burakovsky as Holtby turns aside the Ryan White shot. Burakovsky scored 2 in a game in Anaheim last February. Set up by Kuznetsov. His team leading 49th point this season. Back behind the play, an injured Capital. It's Dmitry Orlov.
Yeah, it looked like he caught a forearm shiver from Ryan White below the goal line. Orlov was trying to avoid contact, and then we got players coming together in the neutral zone with Orlov getting tended to behind the net of Braden Holtby. But good to see Orlov back on his feet in behind the net. Little miscommunication there. Orlov tries to avoid the check, and White gets an arm up, an elbow up.
Yeah, that's inadvertent right there. It was more Van de Velde hit him into Ryan White, and Ryan White, as he was going by,
Trying to avoid him.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid him. It wasn't intentional. Kind of a bad luck play for Orlov in that situation.
So the Caps now down to 16 skaters for the moment. Already lost Marcus Johansson earlier.
Won't be any hockey parents calling the coaches tonight. All this extra ice time. Not that hockey parents complain about ice time.
Never. Brian, you're a hockey parent. Caps offside. You never complain, I'm sure.
No, I'm actually part-time hockey coach, and
So you're the one answering the
emails,
the calls,
yeah.
huh?
Our parents are pretty good.
Of course they are. They're watching. Capitals and Flyers tied at 3.
Boy, just an incredible play by Evgeny Kuznetsov on that goal by Andre Burakovsky to be able to handle that puck, split through the D, and just make a beautiful backhand pass on post and in. And just seeing the skill level of Kuznetsov for a lot of this hockey game, especially in the second period on. Here's Kuznetsov fighting off Lawton, finds his puck, goes from his skate to his stick, recognizing Burakovsky's there, and then posting in. Just an incredible play, and again, I mean, those are the guys that are on the second line for Barry Trotz and the Washington Capitals. So if you don't get it from the big guys that are on the ice right now, you certainly have that second wave of highly skilled, quick, young players for the Washington Capitals.
Burakovsky from Kuznetsov, 3:55. Here comes Simmons. Left-hand save, and then another on Voracek, and a Washington penalty. Two brilliant saves by Holtby, but a hooking penalty has been assessed, and the Flyers will go on the power play.
Claude Giroux makes this whole play. He puts this puck out into the neutral zone. Wayne Simmons gets a jump. Karl Alzner gets caught trying to keep the play alive. And then the quick little play by Simmons, and then Voracek not able to get elevation on this puck. And for Wayne Simmons, this puck is bouncing the whole way. No worse feeling as a forward trying to stick handle a rolling puck and trying to make a move.
The recovery save by Braden Holtby right here is the one that I'm impressed by, as he's able to get his feet underneath him and make that save on Voracek, who was second to the puck. Great saves there by Braden Holtby.
He's probably made, what, 5 A+ saves here tonight?
He really has. The one that stands out was a save on Umberger as well at 2-0. That could have been 3-0. Could have changed the complexion of the hockey game.
A save by Neuvert on Mike Richards' shorthanded attempt. Fifth power play for the Flyers. They are 1 for 4 as Niskanen moves the puck down ice.
The Flyers have had their success of getting chances. A lot of it has come from Giroux to Gostisbehere in the middle of the ice. See if the Flyers can get the puck set up and look for a little game of catch there for a one-timer from Giroux, being the guy that's being the quarterback.
Simmons moves it out to the right point. Voracek could not hold in. Capitals again clear as we approach 1 minute remaining on the Ovechkin minor. Gostisbehere deep in his own zone. Mark Streit with the puck. Ahead to Sam Gagner. Fifth power play of the game for Philadelphia. We are tied at 3. Michael Raffl around for Matt Reed. And now Sam Gagner directs it out to the point off the stick of Justin Williams. Olsner and Reed battle behind the Washington net. And Olsner, playing in his franchise record 423rd consecutive game, clears the puck down ice.
Won a physical battle and was able to put that puck off the glass and get it out of the zone. Heck of a play.
Streit shoots back in. Reed in the near corner for the Flyers. Around to the far side with 15 seconds remaining on the Caps penalty. Puck deflects over the glass. Face off to the right of Braden Holtby.
Flyers really haven't been able to get the puck off the boards at all on this power play. It's just been a lot of retrieving. Capitals keeping them to the outside, not able to really get the puck to the middle of the ice. There's still some time here. 12 seconds remaining, and a huge face-off to the right of Braden Holtby.
Well, some good aggressive penalty killing by the Capitals there, and that's why the Flyers are stuck on the boards. It's more of a credit to what the Capitals are doing on the penalty kill in this situation.
And when you face a team that's aggressive, you got to move the puck from one side of the ice to the other.
Giroux with a shot. That gets blocked. Bounces out right side of the goal. Ovechkin out of the box. Flyers now 1 for 5. Oshie's pass too far for Backstrom. Now Simmons and Olsner battle for the puck in the Capital zone. Oshie comes over. Simmons keeps it alive. It's in his skates. Olsner presses him to the boards. Puck work free by Giroux. Flips behind the net, and Holtby will knock it down for Niskanen. 12:15 to play, third period, 3-3 game. Nicholas Backstrom for TJ Oshie, looking for Ovechkin, but it's blocked off by Gudas.
I had a chance to shoot that puck, but just trying to be a little bit too nice there. Oshie getting the puck to Ovechkin. Obviously not a bad idea, but you got a chance to pull the trigger. Nobody in between. You have the puck on your stick, nobody in between you and the net, 10 feet out. Good to see Orlov back on the ice as well after colliding with Ryan White.
And he leads the rush for the Caps. Manning with the puck for the Flyers, up the boards. Kept in the zone by Chorny. Justin Williams for Kuznetsov. Stick checked away by White. Burakovsky on the ice. He has 2 of the 3 Capitals goals. Ryan White has a goal for Philadelphia. White. Orlov went back at him after that hit from White a few minutes ago. White gets the puck into the slot. Now out to the right point it comes for Streit. Over to the left side. Shot by Schultz. Gets blocked by Kuznetsov. Now Streit blockered out by Holtby. And Orlov will clear. "11 minutes remaining. 3rd period here in Washington. Kenny Albert, Eddie Olczyk, and Brian Boucher from Verizon Center. Final game for both clubs prior to the All-Star break for the Capitals. Their first game in 8 days. Puck deflected along and then played by John Carlson of Washington. Leaving for Nate Schmidt. Up the left side for Jason Chimera. Mike Richards has moved up to the line with Chimera and Wilson in the absence of Marcus Johansson. Radko Gudas up the right side for Sam Gagner. Taken to the boards by Schmidt. 2 on 3 for the Caps. Here's Ovechkin down the left wing. And the backhand shot misses the net to the right.
Boy, there was some room there. Neuvert was leaning to his left, and Ovechkin very rarely takes a backhand shot. Tries to go short side and just misses.
Backstrom centers off the stick of Oshie. Puck comes to Orlov, and his drive is blocked by Matt Reed. Flyers clear the zone with under 10 minutes remaining. Schenn for Reed. Reed across. Ruffle stopped by Holtby. And then Chorny able to make the defensive play in front of the net. Kept in the zone by the Flyers. Del Zotto. Chorny stepping in front of Reed. And now Oshie will send cross ice to Ovechkin. Knocked off his stick. Flyers back the other way. Niskanen for Burakovsky. Burakovsky's shot gets blocked. Williams looking for the puck. Voracek has it. With 9 minutes remaining in regulation. Here's Giroux. Into the corner, Simmons. Puck cleared out by Kuznetsov and then picked up by Streit. Shots are 25-24 Caps. Flyers have iced the puck. Wednesday night rivalry is on NBCSN as the Red Wings take on Steven Stamkos and the Lightning next Wednesday night. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on NBCSN, the night you love to hate. Face off to the left of the former Capital, Michael Neuvert, making his first career start against Washington. The only team he had never faced in the regular season. Here's Carlson for Schmidt. Backs it up, then wrists one. And it's covered by Neuvert. 8.5 to play. Burakovsky with the goal early in the third. We are tied at 3. Welcome back to Wednesday night rivalry presented by Coors Light. 8.5 to play. Capitals and Flyers tied at 3. Richards and White to the right of Neuvert. Turned aside by Neuvert off the faceoff. Gudas up the right side. Flyers clear the zone. Holtby waiting. Up the boards it comes to Manning. And that shot deflects wide off the stick of Van de Velde. Van de Velde with the puck. Shouldered by Latta. Cleared out around Gudas by Brooks Laich. And then sent back down by Belmar. Puck winds up out of play. Washington Capitals' best record in the NHL, and they have tied the all-time NHL mark with 35 wins over their first 46 games. It's been done 4 times in recent years, of course, with the advent of the extra point for the overtime or shootout loss. San Jose in 08-09 and Chicago and Pittsburgh in 2012-13. And now the Capitals with 35 wins, their first 46 games. Jason Chimera with the puck, looking for Orlov, but it was picked off. Into the Capital zone, it's Schenn for Raffl.
Nice back check there from Brayden Schenn. We showed that play by Kuznetsov with stick on the ice there. Take away a passing lane. Same thing with Schenn coming all the way back to take away that passing lane. Chimera trying to get that puck rink wide.
Puck now taken away by Chimera. Tried to get it out in front for Alzner. Puck played now by Matt Niskanen. Did not connect with Kuznetsov. No icing as both teams make changes. 7 minutes to play, third period. No icing once again. Alzner looking for Niskanen. Puck deflects out of play. We'll take a break with the Capitals and Flyers deadlocked at 3 on Wednesday night rivalry.
Lee McHugh in the studio. Former Flyer Vinny Lecavalier has found new life out west. 4 goals in 9 games with the Kings. Coming up next, Los Angeles will play host to the Colorado Avalanche. Puck drop for that one set for 10:45 Eastern. Right now, let's head back to Kenny.
All right, thanks, Liam. So Vinny Lecavalier off to a great start with the Kings. Dealt away by the Flyers along with Luke Schenn.
Yeah, Schenn's fit in nicely too there for Daryl Sutter, who has done another tremendous job with the LA Kings.
Really interesting how when a guy changes places and Vinny Lecavalier, he gets an opportunity to play and is able to show that he still can play and contribute for the Los Angeles Kings. He was a class act in the Flyers organization. If you talk to the Flyer players, they said he never came to the rink without a smile on his face. So it's good to see that he stuck with it and he's playing well for the Los Angeles Kings.
Capitals offside. Jordan Wheel, acquired by the Flyers in the deal, made his Philadelphia debut on Monday against Boston. A healthy scratch tonight. Wheel, the American Hockey League playoff MVP last spring. But Dave Haxtell returning Sam Gagner into the lineup tonight. Flyers without Sean Couturier for the 3rd straight game. Tied at 3 in Washington as Voracek is cut off along the wall by Niskanen. Oshie moves the puck ahead, and then it's Simmons back the other way. 6:20 remaining in regulation. Shots are 27-24 Washington. Gostisbehere with the puck.
Good hit by Delzato in the middle of the ice on Oshie.
Lawton unable to get the shot away. Held in at the line by Gagner and now played by Alzner. Here's Schmidt up the right side. Oshie can't clear. Long shot by Gagner. Blocked aside by Holtby. Puck comes out to the left point. Manning with a drive. That misses the net. Gudas fires and another save by Holtby.
Oshie taking a run at Brandon Manning as he let that puck go.
Couple of opportunities for the Flyers during this shift. Now Schmidt controls the puck for the Caps with 5.5 to play. And both teams make changes.
I think Oshie was still steaming from that hit at center ice that he took.
And maybe he thought it was Manning. It was Delzato that put him on his wallet.
Kuznetsov with a shot. And that got blocked by Gostisbehere. Pass could not be controlled by Ryan White. Kuznetsov on the puck for the Caps. Dropping it off for Carlson. And now Dmitry Orlov. Ryan White back into the Cap zone. Another quick change by the Flyers. Long pass up the left side, deflected along by Burakovsky, who has 2 goals for Washington tonight. 27 shots apiece, tied at 3. Pass could not be handled by Reed. Holtby will move it up the near boards. Knocked down by Ruffel, and then carried out by Chorney for Wilson. Mike Richards and Radko Gudas. Knocked down at the line by Chorney. Now Reed comes over for the Flyers. Back to Manning. Manning taken to the boards by Wilson. Wilson moves in front. And Neuvert able to make the save. Good job on the forecheck by this Caps line of Chimera, Richards, and Wilson. Finally, the Flyers clear. Puck played on the left wing by Matt Reed. Reed slides it across, but Ruffel could not knock the puck out of the air. Gostisbehere for Philadelphia. Ahead for Simmons, but the Flyers are offside with 3:46 to play. Third period in our nation's capital.
I want to go back to that play on TJ Oshie through the middle of the ice. Michael Delzato steps right up and takes a piece of Oshie. Didn't like that at all. And then right after, watch Oshie go out at Brandon Manning. He's going to get a piece of some Flyer. Watch. Goes at him. Stick is up. Little hook. Little punch. This game has gotten a lot tighter here. Kenny and Bush, the last probably 6 or 7 minutes. Not a lot of room out there. And I don't want to say we're in overtime just yet, but certainly both teams not as freewheeling as we saw in the first 2 periods, that's for sure.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, guys, the Philadelphia Flyers in 2 of their last 3 losses, they lost under 2 minutes in the hockey game. So they want to try and make sure they somehow get a point here tonight. You hate losing games late in regulation. The Flyers have done that here recently.
That's right, a goal with 8 seconds remaining, scored by Matt Hunwick of Toronto. And then Brett Connolly of Boston with 1:54 to play. Backstrom moves the puck in. He takes a hit from Gostisbehere as Neuvert covers with 3:13 remaining.
Boy, big hit, Alexander Ovechkin on Wayne Simmons, and Claude Giroux having words with Ovechkin. Took Simmons some time to get back to his feet there, and I think it was the follow through there on Giroux that he didn't like. This is fine here, no problem, no problem. But now with Simmons down, I think that's where Ovechkin crosses the line. And I think that's what Giroux was in the face of Ovechkin about after that play happened. Tough to knock that man off the puck. Wayne Simmons, one of the tougher players in the entire National Hockey League, but we know Alexander Ovechkin's one big human as well.
Richard wins the draw. Schmidt with a shot off a skate. Flyers able to clear the puck out. Now Belmar down the right side. Carries into the corner, and then a shot by White is gloved by Holtby.
Hey, Bush, from up top here, it seems like the intensity is really cranked up here in the last 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know what you're feeling down at ice level, but from up top it is.
It really has, Eddie. There's a lot of chirping going on after the whistle, a lot of chatter in between when things go to commercial, a lot of guys talking to one another. So you can see right here Ryan White talking to Mike Richards. It's been constant. It's been every time guys are coming to the bench, they're talking to one another. It's heating up. It feels like a playoff type atmosphere here in this third period.
Richards and White continue to chat. Flyers get Giroux, Simmons, and Voracek right back out. Ovechkin from his knees able to clear the puck down. This will be an icing call against Washington.
Well, Claude Giroux is going to try to go ahead on this play. Now, he is the center iceman. He's going to try to chip this puck into this area here with Jake Voracek going down. Watch this. Watch Giroux. He doesn't bring it back. He's going to try to move this puck ahead. See him try to chip it and then slide it over to Voracek, but the Capitals are able to snip that out.
And then try. Another quick shot, Eddie, by Voracek off the faceoff. This time turned aside by Holtby. That's how Voracek scored the third Flyers goal.
You just try that one push going straight ahead, then all of a sudden the other centerman, that being Backstrom, starts thinking a little bit too much, and then you're able to make those plays and win those faceoffs back.
As we approach All-Star Weekend, how about Voracek last year? 6 points in the All-Star game, which tied Mario Lemieux's all-time record. 3 goals, 3 assists in Columbus for Voracek.
It's not the MVP.
No. There were a number of candidates.
Yeah. Penalty on Reed here for the hook on Kuznetsov.
Holtby to the bench. Touch made by Schenn. So the Capitals, with just over 2 minutes remaining, will go on the power play.
Well, Evgeny Kuznetsov, after the giveaway on the first goal of the game. There you see the hook. Excuse me, the second goal of the game. Ryan White unassisted. Kuznetsov with the giveaway since that time. I mean, he has been so good. Draws a penalty, made a great pass on the Burakovsky goal. And what an opportunity for Barry Trotz. Washington Capitals with the power play very, very late here in the third, and Dave Haxtell's team, the Flyers, trying to kill it off and get this game at least to overtime.
Big face-off win by Giroux on the penalty kill. It's only the second power play for the Caps. The Flyers have had 5. Oshie looked to get the pass through to Backstrom. Ovechkin. Kuznetsov, who drew the penalty. 1:40 to go, third period. Backstrom with the puck. Now Kuznetsov and then Niskanen. Here's Sean Ovechkin, who fires wide. Kuznetsov with Matt Reed in the penalty box. Capitals with the top power play in the league. Kuznetsov out for Niskanen. And now Ovechkin, a one-timer. It is blocked and then knocked up out of play by the goaltender's stick of Neuvert, as the officials determined initially that it deflected out, but now they will get together and chat about it.
Well, they want to delay a game. Barry Trotz palms up, wanting a delay a game on Michael Neuvert. I'll defer to the goaltender on our crew. What do you think, Booch?
No way.
Okay, you got to put that goaltending union card away.
Oh
though.
man, you're right. I mean, initially he's just trying to get it up in the glass,
right.
But that looked awfully intentional at that point. That's a tough one to call though, right there, because the puck is coming on him almost like a shot. And as a goaltender, you are trying to get your stick on that puck. That's a tough call right there.
Yeah, it looked like delay a game to me.
Capitals continue on the power play in a 3-3 game. Puck cleared out of the zone by Ryan White.
You wonder if the Capitals get a whistle here. You wonder if Barry Trotz uses his timeout to give his guys on the ice a little bit of a breather here.
Again, the Flyers clear, down to 1 minute remaining. And 55 seconds on the Reed penalty.
That was a good play by Gudas there to be able to get that puck all the way down.
Here come the Caps, flipped ahead by Backstrom to Kuznetsov. Out to the right point, Carlson. Now Ovechkin fires, and a stick save by Neuvert. Down to 40 seconds as Delzato fires the puck around and down.
Boy, Schultz did a good job of coming out and forcing Ovechkin maybe to shoot that puck a little bit earlier from not a great angle, and he had a great shot block right before that.
The final half minute. Chimera into the Flyer zone with a shot, and that gets blocked by Delzato. Carlson unable to hold in. Flyers clear with 15 seconds. Burakovsky, 10 seconds remaining. Ovechkin knocked off the puck by Gudas. Time winding down, and we are headed for overtime here in Washington as the Flyers kill off the penalty.
Huge job by the Flyers there. Huge.
30 shots apiece through regulation. Burakovsky with the only goal in the third period. Wednesday night rivalry presented by Coors Light, heading to overtime in Washington with the Caps and Flyers tied at 3. Headed to overtime in Washington. Flyers led 2-0 following this goal scored by Ryan White. Caps would score 2 in the second period. Here's Nicklas Backstrom tying the game at 2. Off a face-off later in the second, Jake Voracek beats Holtby. And then Kuznetsov setting up Burakovsky. So 3-on-3 overtime. Flyers are 7-4 in games that have ended in overtime this season. Gostisbehere has 3 goals in OT. Caps are 3-2. Kuznetsov with a pair. For the Flyers, this will be their 10th game in the last 11 decided by 1 goal. Capitals' 12-game home winning streak is on the line. Gostisbehere with the puck. Only Jonathan Toews has more overtime goals this season than Shane Gostisbehere. Here is Voracek with a shot, and that's turned aside by Holtby. Gostisbehere keeps the puck alive. Voracek battling with Kuznetsov. Giroux, the third flyer. Now Voracek turns, shoots, and scores! Jake Voracek with the overtime winner for the Philadelphia Flyers, 38 seconds in, ending the Capitals' home win streak at 12 games.
Braden Holtby loses his stick as Jake Voracek wraps the puck back around. He wins the battle along the boards. The battle with Kuznetsov. Now watch what ends up happening. Voracek spins off. Now watch the stick of Holtby right there. He loses his stick. He's down, and Voracek goes top shelf.
Well, Voracek's skate right here, you could see, oh, it wasn't even Voracek's skate. I think it's a stick of Kuznetsov. Gets the knob of Braden Holtby. And I'm sure they're going to try and review this as far as goaltender interference or not, but my initial thought is that it gets hooked up on the stick of Kuznetsov. We'll maybe get a better look right here. That's a stick of Kuznetsov. That's not Voracek's leg. I think that has to be a good goal.
Oh, absolutely. There's no interference at all.
Yep. It's a great play by Voracek. He's able to protect the puck and spin off of Kuznetsov.
Yeah, clearly the play was onside. You see the linesman there wave it off, so not really sure what they could be looking at besides what you're touching on, Bush. But, I mean, Voracek did not interfere with the goaltender at all. Just a heck of a move by Voracek. Loses Kuznetsov.
On further review, the call on the ice stands. It's a good goal.
So Jake Voracek with his second overtime goal of the season. Flyers win it by a 4-3 score, ending their 3-game losing streak. For the Caps, it is their first loss at home since November 19th against Dallas. For Eddie Olczyk and Brian Boucher and our entire crew, Kenny Albert saying so long from Washington as we send you to the Kings and the Avalanche.